Holds their nerve. Brilliant start, absolutely brilliant. And that will be the order of the day, I would think, from Tom Curran. We saw two deliveries that were brilliant and effective in his last over that he bowled. This one we've just seen, and the wide Yorkers, those were the two options he went for, and none of them had any damage done to them. South Africa also thinking, get Van der Dussen back on strike.
He's got to do that, minimum. He's got to get Van der Dussen back on strike. Can't just swing wildly, he must get bat on ball.
Got it! The length delivery here, just his approach, gets outside the off stump, hangs back and middles it onto the bank.
Different game now, the slow ball's been dispatched. Well, just when you think South Africa are gone, they come fighting back. Another massive hit into the crowd. A slower ball that just sat up. A ball he was waiting for. Set himself, knew it was coming. Straight out of the middle.
Forget about getting Van der Dussen back on strike. Nothing wrong with Pretorius that's hitting. Have a look at the passion, the emotion. 20. Now Steyn looks pretty relaxed with his Coke in hand.
He hasn't moved, has he?
He's been there, experienced it from a bowling perspective. And that's perfect. South Africa now back into the mix. 9 or 4. Wide Yorker maybe now from Tom Curran. That's over extra, and it's 4. It beats the man on the fence. Brilliant strike in this from Pretorius. Brings up the 200 for South Africa.
Well, forget about your stats. 158 was the highest run chase before today. They are within touching distance now. 5 from 3. Unbelievable game of cricket. Outrageous striking at times. A slot ball with wit. Or nearly all the way flat for 6.
Yeah, it's ebbed and flowed, hasn't it? Brilliant entertainment. Pretorius, you can see he's pumped. After the first delivery, the pressure was on him. Didn't get bat on ball, didn't get Van der Dussen on strike, but he's adjusted and adapted brilliantly. Slow ball out the ground, quicker one over extra cover. 5 required from 3. Oh, they're thinking 2, and it's landed in an area where they will be able to get back. They have to launch himself. He does. This one's going to go upstairs. The England team not overly confident. I think maybe he's just found his ground.
Well, there was only one man who was going to be able to stop the 2, and that was Ben Stokes. Came herring in. Well, I reckon he's just okay. You can always tell by the body language of the fielding side, and England aren't moved. What a dive. The bat bouncing.
I think there's something on the ground there. There's the lights. Can't fault the effort. Great picture. Whole body in the air. Just the bat that's on the ground. Technically wise, you're going to say to yourself, maybe it wasn't the right option. Maybe trying to slide it in a little bit earlier. I mean, half the bat's already over the line by the time it gets to the ground.
You can't have a go at that dive.
That's comfortably home for me.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That leaves it as 3 required of 2 deliveries. Do England win? Do South Africa win? Do we go to the super over?
What do you do on the boundary as well? Do you come in trying to save the 2? Do you come in a little bit? Do you stay right back as Ben Stokes did? We'll just see this another 17 times and we should be okay.
Third umpire Adrian Holstock. I suppose he's feeling a little bit of pressure in this situation. Doesn't want to get it wrong. But there's no doubt for me, there's bat on the ground. I don't think we need to see too many replays. I think even the England fans, Rob, would admit that's over the line and comfortably home. Not out, yes, the correct call. Even though the people have seen it on the big screen, they're still going to celebrate once the decision's made. Smiles in the dressing room for South Africa. Concern for the England fans. Can England defend 3 of 2 deliveries? Tom Curran. What is the option? Another consultation, the discussion. It was 3 of 2 in the last game, wasn't it? And then there was a wicket. So it's exactly the same situation. Bat on ball and get yourself out. Torres, the man, he's done well. 6-4-2 in the last 3 deliveries. That's brilliantly bowled. Oh, he's given him. Brilliant delivery from Tom Curran. The finger's gone up. No review from South Africa. Pretorius will just make his way off the ground. Quinton de Kock saying review it. Not too sure he's allowed to communicate from there.
You see Van der Dusen is begging the umpire. Begging the umpire. Pretorius had walked off, halfway off. Van der Dusen is just doing the sign to review it.
Yeah, I think Ben Stokes has got the issue that there's communication that's come from Quinton de Kock in the dressing room. I don't think umpire Jele would have seen that, just checking the front foot. It was a great delivery after what's happened in the last 3 deliveries to get in there, get the perfect Yorker away, tailing into the right-hander, crashing into the boot. See the position Van der Dusen takes into place. Oh, I suppose it's going to be where it makes contact. Is it umpire's call or is it comfortably outside the off stump? It could be a close one. I think Pretorius was quite aware of where that foot ended up as he jumped across the stumps. No bat involved. Oh, is there? A little bit of a spark as the ball goes underneath the bat. So has he made a little bit of contact? The bottom edge just got involved. Is there an ultra edge? And this might be a fantastic review for South Africa. The issue that we have in this situation is even though if it's given not out, it is no single accumulated by the South Africans. Because of him being given out, even though they've crossed, it doesn't count as absolutely anything. It's a flaw, I think, that needs to be looked at. That looks like an inside edge. There's clear evidence for me.
Do you think? When does that spike come? Let's just watch that once more. 1 frame now. Go forward 1. Then it comes there. Is that not after? Is that not as the ball hits the ground?
Yeah, could be, I suppose. Yes, ball hitting ground. I'm with you. Sorry, I got that wrong. That's right. Nothing involved inside edgewise. You can see a clear gap on the right hand of the screen. Ball under bat. Gap between bat and ball. That's the ball hitting the ground and it goes onto the pad. Good call, Rob.
What about now outside the line? What do you think?
Now I suppose it's going to be down to, at best, umpire's call. Umpire's call impact going on to hit the stumps. So the decision stays. South Africa will require 3 runs off 1 delivery. Deja vu, East London.
Well, after all of that, it was a good decision. It was an excellent bit of bowling as well. Now there's a conference. Well, it's at this stage that in East London, Owen Morgan actually said to the batsman walking out, spoke about the super over, just try and get something on it. Worst case scenario, take it to a super over. Now he has to get the field right. He has to protect the 2 as well. Protect the boundary, protect the 2s. The batsmen are going to be scampering.
Leon Fontaine to the crease for South Africa. Hasn't batted for South Africa in a T20 match at all. The pressure's on. 3 required from 1 delivery. There's a long discussion going on with Van der Dusen. What are the possible options? You would think that Curran would go for a similar kind of delivery. Not too sure he'd risk the slow ball wide of the crease. I suppose he might go for it. Fontaine has to try and work out what he's going to try and do. But Torres was really good. 25 of 13. He's got South Africa to the brink. But as was the case in East London, it's 3 runs required of 1 delivery, 2 for a super over. What can Fontaine do? It's not easy. You walk to the crease, you haven't faced delivery, you haven't even adjusted to the lights. Can you make enough contact? Can you get the 2 runs or find a thick edge? Feel for Fontaine, but you also feel for the bowler, Curran. In for those 12 runs in 3 deliveries, but bounce back ability to keep his side in the hunt for a victory to square the series.
Fastest men on the boundary. Owen Morgan. Where's Stokes going? Is he hanging back? Chris Jordan's going forward and back from long off. Well, he must have a lot of deliveries up his sleeve. Is it the slow ball, the Yorker? How brave are you, Tom Curran?
Everyone's on the feet, the crowd, no one's sitting. They all clapping as Curran runs in. He bowls a slow ball, he gets the contact, but the catch is taken. England won the second encounter, the second T20 international against South Africa. Fontaine backed himself to play the lap. The interesting choice of the slow delivery works for England. They win by 2 runs and the series is level. We're going to Pretoria for the decider.
Unbelievable scenes. How brave are you, Tom Curran? Have you got the slow ball? Will you go for the Yorker? He went for the back of the hand, slower ball. Look, for all money, it had gone up and over Adil Rashid. Oh, there's a bit going on now. And the Dewson shakes hands with the England team. What a game of cricket. What an advert for T20 cricket. Well, it has been as good a series so far as you can see.
Not too sure if there's a bit of controversy into whether the umpires want to check whether the fielder was inside the circle at time of delivery. No problem with the front foot at all. Very brave, absolutely brave from Tom Curran to go to that slow ball delivery. Earlier on in the over it disappeared. Oh, he's running back before contact is made. So this is interesting. What are we going to see from the third umpire? I think he's predicted that he's going to play the lap and he started to head off on his journey. The third umpire will decide if he's gone too early.
Going to have to move the presentation and everything that's already starting. There you go. Watch Adil Rashid there.
Might be the law might be at point of delivery. Tell whether he is or isn't in the circle there. I think he's on the line. But as far as when the contact, so that's at point of delivery, I don't think you can give that as outside the circle at that point. Once contact is made, no issue whatsoever. And I think the umpires in the middle are now happy. They're happy that they've got enough conclusive evidence to say that's legitimate. He was inside the circle at the point of delivery. So England do win this game by 2 runs. And as I said earlier, it's nicely set up for the decider in Pretoria on Sunday.
Amazing symmetry.